I'm not doing anything super exciting this afternoon. I'm just going for a walk to the Robinson Shopping Center to do a bit of shopping, and I thought I would turn it into a walk and talk vlog, kind of a walk and talk update vlog. As far as the update goes, we can start here in my room at the Green Guest House. Not a whole lot has changed. My menagerie of animals is still kind of the same. I have 4 or 5 geckos that are actually right here in the room with us now, hiding behind the fridge, behind that wardrobe, behind the air conditioner, behind these curtains over here. They're all over the place. You just don't see them during the day. They're sleeping. Lately, though, I've gotten a lot more of those big centipedes. The ones, they're longer than my hand, in fact. They're quite large, and they come in here quite often. I assume they come in under the door, though how they even fit under the door, I couldn't tell you. But I find them all over the room, and I shot a little bit of video of one of them, and I'll stick that in right now. So those are my new friends, and I don't mind them coming in. They're very slow moving and they seem very friendly. I think they can bite, but I don't think they ever would, so I don't worry about them. I let them hang out in the room and go exploring and do whatever they want to do. Eventually, though, it seems like they want to get out and they don't know how, so then I scoop them up and I take them outside into the green garden, the Green Guest House garden, and set them free out there. So the centipedes have been a little bit of an adventure lately. The other new animals are over here in the bathroom. They don't come inside the apartment. They hang out on the outside of these bathroom screens. And you can see one of them up there in the top corner. And there's a few more of them over here, one down here, here, and another there, and those are large garden snails. And they sleep here during the day, and then at night they go out. I guess they go out feeding in the garden. But I find them interesting because they do move so slowly. I can see them arriving in the morning, and they're stretched out of their shell, and I can see them crawling along the screen, and they leave a trail of slime behind them, so I can actually see the path they follow as they wander around the screen, looking for a place to settle in for the day. And they're moving so slowly that I keep thinking about how far they have to travel every night. They go outside into the garden, but to get there they have to go all the way down the wall, down the outside of the wall all the way to the ground, and then go do their snail thing. And at night they have to climb all the way back up here and settle in for their nap. But they seem to get along with the geckos okay, because a lot of geckos stay here during the day as well. There's only, there's 2 of them right now. There's one way up there in the corner hanging out, and then there's a tiny, tiny one right here by my finger. But there can be as many as 4 in each window, depending on the day. I've had a fair bit of activity around the bathroom, actually, because just the other day, the downpipe started leaking like crazy. Actually, it started happening a few days ago, and I was reluctant to tell the landlady about it, because that can lead to all kinds of complications and confusion and repairmen coming in and out of the room as they try to sort it out. And I tried to fix it myself, but I couldn't do it. I don't have any tools with me, so I couldn't open this up. But I eventually had to, I felt like I should mention it to the landlady that this was leaking really badly, so I did. So yesterday, she and her son started coming in and trying to deal with it, and this is the result. The downpipe is now just missing entirely, so when you pour water in, it just it just goes out onto the floor. So you have to be willing to get your feet wet, which is no big deal. The floor in here is wet all the time anyway. And in a funny move, she gave me this bucket and said I could put the bucket underneath and catch the water. But I don't really see the advantage to that, so I just let the water hit the floor and go splashing around. And in case someone is new to these videos and hasn't seen where I'm staying before, this is my room at the Green Guest House, more or less. Refrigerator, a little table, and I love the refrigerator. It has a nice freezer compartment at the top where I make ice, which makes me a happy man. A couple of big windows. This window opens up onto the police station, and this is where they keep all the cars that are wrecked in traffic accidents. And the other window just looks out onto the rest of the Green Guest House garden and other rooms. My large bed, and I keep all of my technology over there, and I use it during the day as I'm sitting here fiddling around with the GoPro and doing my thing. They brought in a nice little bedside table for me, so I have some more of my chargers and electronics arranged over here. Wardrobe, and then my vast clothing wardrobe on display over there. As everyone might know, I basically have two shirts, the blue one I'm wearing and then this red one, but then I have this shirt, which is too thick to wear outside, it's too hot. But I do actually have this other shirt, though I never wear it because, just a weird thing I guess, but this material is so clingy. It's thin and really clingy, and it just is so uncomfortable on my body. I don't know, I just don't like that. And I do have a little tank top that I have worn in the past, but I don't feel like inflicting the people of Mesot to my bare arms just now. So I don't wear that tank top outside. And that is pretty much it. Ceiling fan up on the top, air conditioner on the wall, which works really well. And my pride and joy over here, I bought this here in Mesot, my pot for boiling water, and I can do some cooking in there. Spaghetti and noodles and boiled eggs and simple dishes like that. So that's kind of my world here at the Green Guest House. Technology and issues with technology also keep me occupied. That particular adventure never seems to end. I don't know if anyone has noticed it, but in recent videos, my GoPro seems to be screwing up on the exposure. I never had to worry about exposure before. To me, it looks great. It's always like bright. I like a bright image. It doesn't have to look professional or cinematic. I just like the image to be bright and sharp, and it always did. But in my last few videos, there are times when the image just goes completely dark for no reason at all. And I don't know what's happening. Sometimes it's dark, sometimes it brightens, sometimes it goes dark again. And just overall, it just seems to be much darker than it used to be. And I haven't been able to fix it. I haven't changed any settings. The only thing I did was start shooting in 4K instead of 1080p. And at the beginning, that worked fine. The image quality didn't change in terms of brightness. But after a few days of using 4K, something seems to have changed. I don't know what. And going back to 1080p doesn't make any difference. The exposure problems continue in 1080p. So I don't know. My only guess is that shooting in 4K caused the GoPro to overheat, to heat up even more than normal, and maybe the extreme heat damaged some of the components on the inside, and it just doesn't control exposure as well as it used to. So that's a little bit annoying. It makes me reluctant, to be honest, to buy any more accessories for the GoPro, because I don't know how long it's going to last. I don't know if I mentioned it, but I'm going to Robinson's shopping center to buy another battery for the GoPro. because I only have 2 working batteries and they don't last long enough to get me through a normal day. So I need more batteries. But now I'm kind of reluctant to spend the money on new batteries because it feels like my GoPro is starting to fall apart. We'll see. Also, shooting in 4K, I end up with much larger files, so I don't really have enough memory. So I almost have to buy more memory cards. And again, I'm kind of reluctant to do that. I don't want to buy an expensive memory card for the GoPro if the GoPro ends up not working anymore, or I have to replace it with a new GoPro or something. If I bought a new GoPro, I would probably end up buying a new Hero 7, to be honest. Since the Hero 7 Black came out, GoPro has released the 8 and the 9, and they have all kinds of fancy new features. But when I look at the sample, like the comparison videos online on YouTube, people, of course, have posted dozens, probably hundreds of videos comparing the 7, the 8, and the 9. I always find the video from the 7 to look the best. It looks sharper, looks brighter, looks cleaner, better exposed. All the new tech that they jammed into the 8 and the 9, to my eye anyway, seems to have made the image a bit fuzzy, not quite as sharp, and the exposure isn't quite right. And of course, a new Hero 7 is a lot cheaper now than the new 8 or 9. So if I decided to buy a new one to replace this one, I'd probably buy a Hero 7 again, just because it's so much cheaper. And I think the image quality is better from a Hero 7. I could be wrong about that. Anyway, I have arrived at the Robinson Lifestyle Center. It's just up ahead there. As I said, I'm kind of reluctant to buy new batteries, because even if I buy new batteries for this one, and if I do end up buying a Hero 8 or a Hero 9, the batteries will be useless because the batteries for the 7 don't fit the 9 anymore. It uses a different battery, so it would be a money wasted. But you got to do what you got to do sometimes. So I think I'll pick up 1 or 2 batteries, assuming they have them. And there it is, the shopping mall. All roads lead to the shopping mall. Staring directly into the sun here, and my trip into Robinson's department store is over. I didn't record any of it because my GoPro battery died again, so I had to wait until I bought a new battery before I could charge up again. So all my shopping is done. And I don't know if you're like me, this is kind of a weird human instinct too, that I just spent a ton of money on 2 GoPro batteries and a new memory card for the GoPro. So I spent all this money, and yet when I leave from the department store, I feel like I want to reward myself with a nice drink. Like, that doesn't make any sense at all, but I do that all the time. If I spend a lot of money on something, right afterwards, I want to go to a nice cafe and treat myself to a nice cold drink. The opposite should be true, right? You just spent a ton of money, you should save money or go on a budget or something. But instead, I want to buy myself another treat to celebrate just spending all that money on something else I wanted. Anyway, we happen to be passing another coffee shop here in Mesot, and I thought I would add it to my list. It's right across the road. There it is over there. Here's another look at the place, and the name is over here on the wall. So let's go get a close-up of the wall just to... And there it is there, the Banpu Khan Cafe. Banpu Khan Cafe. Now, I don't know if you noticed it, but even right there, moving from the shade, from the sun into the shade, the GoPro really seems to be struggling with exposure. It seems to be exposing for the sky, but I want to expose for this building. Everything just seems darker than it used to be, and I really don't know what's going on. Yeah, just something weird going on. I know most people aren't into all of this technical stuff, but it's something I'm thinking about, so I'll keep recording it into the camera. I was just playing around with the settings, and I remembered there was something in the GoPro. It has a built-in spot meter. And in the past, I always had the spot meter turned off, because what the spot meter does is it exposes for a tiny point in the scene, and that always seemed to throw off the exposure, so I always have it turned off. But just for fun, I turned it on right now, and then it exposed for the building properly. I'll show you the difference right now. So that is how the GoPro is exposing for this building right now with that bright sky behind it. And at least looking on the GoPro screen, it's a bit too dark. Now I'll turn the spot meter on, and the spot meter will be centered right on the center of the building. And that is how the building looks with the spot meter turned on. So the GoPro exposed for the building instead of for the background. And you can see there's a major difference. And I don't know if that's better overall. So that's using the spot meter. Now it's exposing for the sky where the spot is, and then everything around it is underexposed. But anyway, that is the name of the place with the spot meter turned on, the Banpu Khan Cafe. So let's go inside and order an iced coffee. Here is the front of the cafe, and there's a second floor up there, but I don't know if it is part of the cafe or if it is open. And the lovely picnic table out here with one of those chairs. I tried one of those recently at the fancy hotel in town, and they look so comfortable, but when I sit in them, they're actually really uncomfortable, but they look amazing. And there's a bench over here, and even a small garden down here. Okay, look at that. Let's go explore the garden. I think it is also part of the cafe. Look at this lovely garden path. Got some nice seats over there. It's a shrine. And then a small table and stool here. With some cactus. Yeah, it's very nice. Open daily, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., free Wi-Fi. Wow, look at this. It's so nice. So there's the serving area. And nice kind of benches over here. Booths. And then a different kind of chair and table over here. And you get the view out the front of the street. Quite a busy street here, actually. And there's the front area from inside. Another view of the garden. Well, let's go order my usual iced cappuccino. Here's the menu. Standard coffees on the left and teas. Milks, fresh milk, pinky milk, blue milk, pocky milk. I don't know what any of these milks are. And then they also make smoothies, a yogurt smoothie. I might actually order that instead. I drink a lot of coffee, so maybe a smoothie would be a nice change. Italian sodas. I don't know much about Italian sodas, but I think these sorts of flavorings go into an Italian soda, if I'm not mistaken. And of course, they have an assortment of cakes. Oh, the exposure seems to be working really nicely in here, at least looking at the GoPro screen. So maybe the spot metering is the way to go now. Oh, this is nice. I found this little booklet sitting on the counter that actually has a separate listing for all the different items. So there's a coffee, green tea. That looks interesting. Maybe that is the way to go. That might be their specialty here. Matcha coconut, matcha ice cream, coconut frappe. This is what I'm talking about, people. Every restaurant in the world should have a photo of every dish, because when I look at this list, I guess maybe I lack imagination when it comes to food and drinks. Nothing really gets me excited, but the second I saw this picture of the coffee green tea, I instantly wanted one until I saw this one, and then I instantly wanted this one. So show me a picture of something and I instantly want it. Look at that, matcha ice cream. And this one, coconut frappe. Now I don't even know how to, oh, caramel macchiato. Look at this. Banana choc, cornflakes caramel milk, milk brownie, cocoa brownie. Okay. Now I'm suddenly spoiled for choice. Double yogurt, strawberry, strawberry pocky frappe. A new Yakulpulti Po. Looks quite nice. A blueberry kiwi. Passion fruit and pop juice. Passion fruit. Look at this, milk blue pea, lemon blue pea. Oh, that is a nice picture. Blue soda. Now I know what a blue soda is. Strawberry pink in love. Cocoa summer. Okay, a decision has been made and I put in my order for a matcha coconut. How can I possibly resist that? So that's what I went for. And in terms of seating, I think I'll stay inside to get away from the noise of the traffic. And maybe so I don't bother those people over there, I'll grab a seat here in the bench. Maybe over here in the corner. To be honest, I have very little idea what a matcha coconut drink is or was when I ordered it. I have a vague idea about matcha, but I'm not really clear on what the flavor might be. And of course I know what coconut is, but the drink has arrived and I'm looking at it now and I can't help but think I don't deserve, in no world do I deserve a drink that fancy. It's just not something it's a normal part of my life. But check this out. And there it is there. If I had a set of wheels and a trolley for my GoPro, I would send it around like a product commercial. Look how beautiful that is. With all the whipped cream on top. Comes with a little spoon. Got a green and matcha, I assume, and then the coconut sections. Look at that. That is just amazing. Time to dive in. I'm going to start with the whipped cream on top. Nice. Light whipped cream. Gonna try some of the drink itself. Got the grinder going over there, so for the blender, it's probably picking up a lot of blending noises. Let's give this a try. Nice. Yeah, nice mix of the like really light coconut flavor. I almost wish there was more coconut flavor in a way, but there's some there. And then the matcha, which I think is a kind of tea, if I'm not mistaken. I guess maybe I can get onto Wi-Fi here, and then I can go online and figure out exactly what matcha is. But I'm pretty sure it's a kind of tea. Whoa. I hit a powerful patch of matcha there, like a real strong tea flavor. It's nice. No, it is, it's good. It's a nice order instead of my usual iced cappuccino. Try something different. Oh, look at all that green down at the bottom. The matcha is really collecting. I think I'm gonna send my straw way down to the bottom and try some of that. Oh, okay, that's powerful. I think maybe this needs to be stirred because that matcha blast down at the bottom, that's almost like drinking grass, to be honest. It actually tastes like I'm outside cutting the lawn in Canada. It's a really strong grass flavor. I think we better stir that up a little bit, mix it in. It's a lot nicer when you stir the matcha evenly all the way throughout. It's a good drink. The one thing is what I said at the very beginning, I kind of wish there was more of a coconut flavor. Maybe it's there. Maybe there is a lot of coconut, but it's kind of being overpowered by the matcha flavor. Well, while I'm sitting here, I'll show you my purchases. There they are there, 2 of them. Brand new GoPro batteries. And these ones are listed as for the Hero 5, 6, 7, and 8. And they actually look different than the ones that I currently have because the new ones have the blue section on the bottom. And when I saw that, I was a little bit worried that maybe it wouldn't fit in my Hero 7. But it's listed right there, GoPro Hero 7. So should work fine. Let's open one of these up. Thank you. I just went up to the counter and they cut open the plastic at the bottom for me. Look at that. They package it. It's almost like when it opens up, you should hear a full orchestra, kind of like, you know? It's like a dramatic reveal of this little thing in the middle of this vast area. But yeah, there it is. GoPro battery. Has a little tab on the top and a little blue section on the bottom. I don't know if these are actually more powerful than the old ones that I have. It's a possibility. Well, hopefully these ones don't expand in the heat and destroy themselves. And while I was there, I mentioned I was having memory problems because I'm now shooting in 4K and they're huge files and I don't have enough memory cards. I wanted to get a 128 gigabyte card, but they didn't sell any there. I couldn't find them. And I had trouble opening the package. I had to do this out on the street because my old memory card was full. And in order to keep filming, I had to put this card into the GoPro. So I just sort of tore it open on the streets. But this is a SanDisk Extreme Pro 64 gigabyte card. And it is a little bit of a debate whether you need the Extreme Pro for the GoPro, because these are extremely high-speed cards, 170 megabytes per second, reading speed, 90 megabytes per second writing speed. And if you're shooting in 4K, you kind of need a really high-speed card in order to handle it, or else the GoPro would freeze and crash and you lose files. But these cards are quite expensive. One funny thing I noticed when I was shopping for this card is that with labeling these days, you often have trouble figuring out which one is good enough for you, because in the old days you might get regular and high quality. You get words that kind of specify low quality, medium quality, high quality. But everything today is labeled with a high quality word, and you can't tell which one is better than the other. There's no stepladder effect to the words they choose. So I could choose between the SanDisk Extreme or the SanDisk Ultra. But what's better, Ultra or Extreme? There's just like no way to tell, is there, from the word? Ultra, to me, actually sounds better than Extreme, but I think in fact the Extreme is better than the Ultra. But whatever the truth is, from the words themselves, you can't really make a judgment call about which one is more powerful than the next. The Extreme, the awesome, the amazing, the Ultra, the unbelievably incredible. You know, which one do you choose? You really can't tell from the name anymore. But that's the one I ended up getting, the Extreme Pro. Oh. Whoa. Oh. I just poked myself with the cactus. I was just thinking it would be nice to sit here for a minute and experience the outdoor garden. I sit down and I get jabbed with a cactus. You got to be careful with those guys. So I finished my matcha coconut. That was really nice. I ended up having a chat with another foreigner. There's a man from the UK, came in and sat down with his wife, who is from Myanmar, and their 2 children, and had a little bit of a chat with them. But when I saw them come in, I couldn't help but think about the experience of young children like he had coming into a coffee shop like this and ordering those kinds of drinks, because they had, you know, all their drinks were just as fancy as mine. I had the matcha coconut, they had the blue Italian soda and the caramel macchiato and all these things. And not to be that guy, you know, talking about his childhood, but of course, when I was young, when I was their age, to go to a place like this would have been insanity itself. These sorts of places didn't exist. For us, it was a massive treat to go to McDonald's and have a vanilla milkshake from McDonald's. That was my big treat, or Dairy Queen. For kids today who grow up, you know, a normal part of life, going to a fancy cafe like this and having a caramel macchiato or a coconut matcha, going to Starbucks, flying to other countries for holidays. Yeah, it's a whole different world for kids these days, you know, when it was compared to what it was like when I was growing up. I'm not saying one was better or worse than the other. Oh, I got poked again. You got to be careful when you're sitting beside cactus. But it's just interesting to think about the difference between the world back then and the world today. So, this is the Banpu Khan cafe, and it looks like they're all over Facebook and Line and everywhere else. And yeah, check them out. Banpu Khan Cafe. Back out on the streets with the sun in my face. Now I'm curious how the spot metering will work as I'm out walking around the streets like this. But who knows? Maybe the exposure problems on the GoPro are all in my head. Maybe they're not there at all, and I'm just imagining things. As far as technology goes, I'm still thinking about getting a new smartphone. I haven't completely forgot about that little project. And I seem to be zeroing in on choosing one. I'm still looking at the kind of budget mid-range models. They seem good enough for me, and it's a price that I can justify. And that means choosing between phones like the Xiaomi Redmi Note 9 Pro, the Poco X3, the Realme 7 Pro, as well as a few others from Vivo and Oppo. The models that are a bit better than those, the price jumps up really, really high quite fast. So those mid-range models are the ones I'm looking at. And the Poco X3 keeps drawing my eye, but it seems to be very difficult to buy here. In all the shops at Robinson, they told me that it wasn't even available in Thailand. I can see it online, but I don't know whether I want to risk ordering something online and having it shipped here. That just seems like I'd be asking for trouble. So I'd much rather just buy a phone from a regular store here and have more control over the process. And if I had to choose one today, I think my choice would be the Redmi Note 9 Pro. Seems to cover all the bases. The price is good. I really can't see anything wrong with the Redmi Note 9 Pro, basically. And they have it on sale, or for sale, at the mall right now for about 8,000 baht, which is a reasonable price, I think, for a new phone. While I was there, I did look at a few laptops, and it would be nice to replace my laptop, but at the same time, I'm really reluctant to do it because still, even now, I seem to be getting along just fine without a laptop. Using even my old phone and a wireless keyboard, I run into some limitations from time to time, but overall, I'm quite happy with just that. And I'm not sure that having a laptop would add enough to my life to justify carrying around all that extra weight and spending all that extra money. So right now, every time I look at a laptop, I think, do I really need one, to be honest? Yeah, and right now the answer seems to be, not really. Uh-oh, bit of a traffic jam. Guess we're heading into Mae Sot rush hour. I imagine whenever this happens, I always seem to be near a school. That's generally a sign that you're approaching a school when you run into heavy traffic like this, because all the parents are coming to pick up their kids. And I think there is a school short distance ahead of me. the extreme, the awesome, the amazing, the ultra, the unbelievably incredible. You know, which one do you choose? You really can't tell from the name anymore. Whoa. I just poked myself with the cactus.